Picture this. You're sitting at your desk, surrounded by your horrific monstrosity skull collection, when a lady freaking drives through your door on a motorcycle and electrocutes you, stabs you, and throws her bike at you, and then calmly stands up and tells you she's not your enemy.
But I'm not your enemy.
What do? Go with her to an isolated island to kill the demon lord, obviously. That's what I like about Devil May Cry. Gets right into the action. No drawn-out tutorial sequence, no massive amount of filler or story setup, just a simple cutscene to get the ball rolling before it throws you into the first level. Perfect. Despite the fact it leaves you totally confused running around like a lost dog for half an hour, this introduction leaves little lacking simply because of how simple it is. No need for theatrics, just put me in, coach. That philosophy of getting right to the point is constant throughout Devil May Cry. Pretty short game, all things considered. Even with my uncanny ability to wander around aimlessly not knowing what to do, no matter how obvious the way forward is, it only took me 8 hours to work my way through its dark, brooding gothic halls to kill some big demon guy thing, which was totally important because if I didn't kill him, he would take over the world, I guess? I'll be honest, the story is an incomprehensible melodramatic mess right from the start.
Trish, devils never cry. These tears...
Why exactly does Dante, our wayward hero, choose to trust the lady who tried to kill him 3 different ways in the first 2 minutes of them meeting long enough to follow her to some creepy demon-infested castle in the middle of nowhere? Oh, maybe it's the fact that she looks exactly like his long-deceased mother, which definitely shouldn't ring any alarm bells right off the bat.
You fool! You're so easy.
Trish, you?
Regardless, he does follow her to the aforementioned creepy castle, which leaves the job of getting out of it up to the player. Despite this being a hardcore action game, the first few minutes are pretty quiet. No enemies, just you wandering about the main hall, collecting enough orbs to open a locked door. This sets up the atmosphere pretty effectively, and also lets the player know that while there is certainly going to be a whole lot of pressing the Y button, the other major aspect of the game is exploring, along with some light puzzle solving and platforming. The game is broken up into 23 separate missions, which have you doing anything from simply finding a key to open a door to navigating labyrinth-like levels fighting all sorts of horrible creatures from the underworld along the way. The game gives you a final score at the end of each level, netting you either a minuscule amount of currency or a crap ton amount of currency depending on your performance, which mostly depends on your speed and ability to not get absolutely wrecked. But it doesn't only give you a score at the end of each level, oh no, it rates you on a moment-to-moment basis in combat, carefully critiquing your every move, favoring flashy, stylish combat over button mashing. It even gives you a final report card of sorts at the end of the game, which, judging by the number of Ds, won't be getting into the hands of my parents anytime soon. It's definitely a game that expects you to play it more than once, with its various unlockable difficulties and new game pluses. It's also pretty dang difficult, even on normal, but it's okay because that's why I'm here. Overcoming the challenge makes it oh so satisfying. Combat is about as flashy and smooth as one could expect from a hacky-slashy something or other, and is pretty unforgiving. You're only allowed to save at the end of each mission, and you have a limited amount of lives before you have to go back to your last save. Lives come in the form of yellow orbs, which can occasionally be found in levels, or you can purchase them with some hard-earned cash, but they're pretty expensive and you buy them with the same currency you use to buy new moves. If I had a complaint, which I do, it would be the camera. Hey, here's a fun little quiz I put together. Give it a shot. Which one of these things does the PlayStation 2 controller not have? A. 2 analog sticks. B. 2 analog sticks. C. A massive zit. Or D. 2 analog sticks. If you guessed C, you would be correct. The PlayStation 2 controller does, in fact, have 2 analog sticks, which is why it perplexes me how Devil May Cry refuses to use it for anything, instead delegating the job of letting the player see things to fixed camera points stapled onto the ceiling that do a pretty awful job of letting you see what you'd actually like to. This is especially annoying in boss fights, when the boss itself is off-screen doing who knows what while you frantically try to get into a position that actually lets you see them. While it is frustrating at times, it is sure fun to play a game that respects the player's personal bubble. It practically never tells you exactly where to go, but it doesn't need to because the level design is ingrained in your head from all the many times you'll be backtracking. Every room serves a purpose, so even if you don't have an item you'll need later in the game, you'll remember where to go once you do have it. I love this sort of level design, having the whole game based in a single cohesive location that evolves and expands over time. It even has a whole host of secrets and interesting backstory to uncover if you're willing to press X on absolutely everything everything you find and go on even more backtracking expeditions. It reminds me of the original Resident Evil mansion in the way the map wonderfully connects and loops back in on itself rather than just shoving you into a fully new, disconnected level for each mission. Can I just talk about how much I love the protagonist, Dante? Despite the story's at times cringeworthy cheese,
Like the sky. I feel like my heart is becoming clear.
this guy is pretty cool. I mean, just look at this.
What a big surprise. I hope for your sake you got something inside that big body of yours.
A giant spider drops in front of him with no warning, and his first reaction is to start trash-talking it. I love it.
Finally! I was getting tired of playing your childish games.
You can literally press the right trigger in combat to taunt enemies, which replenishes your devil trigger faster. This man cannot be phased, and he makes every cutscene he's in supremely entertaining. I don't even care that the story's bad. It's bad in the kind of way that makes you love it even more than if it was any good.
It looks like we have a winner.
Jackpot.
I have no idea why I'm supposed to care about this woman who's gotten about 5 minutes of screen time throughout the game, is now dying on the floor, but it sure is fun to watch.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
Once the big bad man who killed your mother and is just the worst has been defeated, and the game rips off the ending of Metal Gear Solid, it's over and you start right back at the beginning in hard mode. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This game is really fun. I'm glad they decided to make it a short, sweet, action-packed experience rather than a big, long, boring slog that overstays its welcome. I mean, there's not much else to say. It's a great game, and I'm certainly glad I decided to get the HD collection on a whim during the Steam sale, even though I knew practically nothing about it. I'm truly excited to check out the rest of the series and see if it can capture my attention even half as long. My name is JaBoc, and I hope we meet again.
Devil never cry. Yes? Okay, great. Where's the place? We'll be right there. This one has the password. Sounds heavy.
Okay, let's get it over with in 10 minutes. Can't let a single one of those suckers live.
5 minutes.
More than enough.